Welcome back to the deep dive. It is really great to be kicking off season 2. And for those of you who were with us for season 1, from 10 blue links to AI answers, navigating the generative search revolution, we really laid down some important groundwork. We dove deep into that huge shift, moving away from the classic 10 blue links, that list we all knew, to this completely new thing, what we started calling the AI-driven answer surface. And in that world, well, visibility isn't just about ranking anymore, is it? It's really about being cited, being trusted by the AI.
Exactly. And we introduced generative engine optimization, GEO, as this absolutely critical new discipline. It's not just another acronym to throw around. It's fundamentally about re-engineering your content so it can be understood, trusted, and crucially, cited by AI. And we talk quite a bit about why structured facts matter, about making your content RA ready, basically, structured so AI systems can easily find and retrieve it, and understanding relevance engineering too, optimizing not just for keywords, but for the actual intent and context, which, these AI models are getting incredibly good at figuring out, all getting ready for a world where AI agents don't just read information, they actually act on it.
Right. Acting on it. That's the key difference. So building on that foundation from season 1, season 2 is going to dive even deeper into, well, all the ripple effects.
That's the plan. We'll be really zeroing in on the huge shifts in user behavior, exploring how AI is getting, frankly, quite sophisticated at inferring those latent user needs, the things you don't explicitly ask for, and even starting to proactively orchestrate actions for users. We'll look at the GEO landscape itself, which is evolving so fast. Who are the new gatekeepers of information in this AI-first world? That's a big question. And we'll also get into the fascinating evolution of information retrieval and even unpack some of the complex architecture behind AI search.
Okay, lots to cover this season. But for today, for our first deep dive of season 2, what's our mission?
Today, we are laser-focused. We're dissecting the really profound changes in how people actually search for and interact with information, specifically because of generative AI. Look, this isn't just about Google, sticking a new widget on the results page or giving you a quick summary. We're talking about search itself, transforming into a dynamic back-and-forth conversation. And in that conversation, those AI-generated citations, they matter way more than traditional clicks ever did. We want to show you how the shift is basically rewiring the entire user journey.
Okay, let's unpack that because rewired feels like the right word. It really does feel like the ground is shifting under us. We're moving fundamentally from that comfortable 10 blue links world to what people are now calling the answer surface. And like you said, it's not just some optional feature. It feels like a basic change in how users even interact with search engines. I mean, the whole idea of clicking through to a website to find your answer, that's becoming, well, almost secondary, right? Sometimes it feels like an afterthought.
It often is. It's often a byproduct now, not the main goal. Search has genuinely morphed into this dynamic conversation. And that old idea of rankings, getting that #1 spot, it's rapidly becoming about citations. Are you the source the AI chooses to reference? That's the new currency.
And what's really striking, and maybe a little unnerving if you're stuck in the old ways, is how it compresses the whole user journey. It just dramatically shortens that path from asking a question to getting an answer. And in doing that, it changes the whole value proposition of the search engine itself, doesn't it? People now expect that immediate, comprehensive answer, often without even leaving the search page. That's a massive shift in expectation.
It is. And we have solid data, increasingly hard to refute data, showing this click erosion is real. Take the Pew Research study from July 2025. It found something pretty startling. When an AI summary shows up at the top, users click on a traditional organic result in only 8% of visits. Just 8%. Now, compare that to 15% when there's no summary. That's nearly half the link-clicking behavior gone when an AI overview is there. Now, look, we know Google has sometimes pushed back on the methodology of some studies.
Right, they always do.
But what's really undeniable across the industry, looking at multiple independent analyses, if they all point the same way. Significantly fewer clicks are leaving the search results page. This isn't some blip. It's a clear, sustained trend.
So it's not just one firm saying this. It's a pattern emerging from lots of different places. It really does sound like maybe the end of an era for purely organic click-based search strategies.
In many ways, yes. It establishes zero-click as the new normal, the baseline, for a huge number of queries. Think about this. SparkToro's 2024 panel found that even before the full European rollout of AI overviews, for every 1,000 Google searches in the US and EU, only somewhere between 360 and 374 clicks actually made it to the open web.
Only 360 to 374 out of 1,000.
Yeah. So think about that. Roughly two-thirds of searches were already ending right there on the results page, even before generative AI really took hold widely. And this trend isn't just continuing, it seems to be accelerating pretty rapidly. This huge drop in organic click-through rates forces us to ask, okay, what does this mean for traditional SEO that was just obsessed with ranking number one? It challenges the whole idea of web traffic as we knew it. We have to rethink what visibility even means now.
That is a massive wake-up call, a huge one. And it's not just about the number of clicks changing, is it? It's the whole way people interact with search that's getting, well, a lot more sophisticated. We're seeing, I think, two big structural shifts in how people are actually prompting AI. First, the prompts themselves are getting way longer, much more contextual. People are basically briefing the AI like they'd brief a colleague, right? Or maybe a junior analyst, not just throwing out a couple of keywords.
Exactly. Prompts now routinely include really specific details, things like roles, you are my financial advisor, or clear context, very specific constraints, needs to integrate with Salesforce. And even success criteria provide a plan that minimizes downtime.
Yeah, exactly like briefing someone.
What's fascinating is how this is pushing users towards what you might call prompt fluency. It's a totally different skill than just guessing keywords, which was the old game, wasn't it? Trying to figure out what Google wanted. Now it's about clearly articulating complex intent. Take that example from one of the sources. Instead of typing compare ABC, a user might now write something like, okay, you're my procurement analyst, need a solution under 50 pounds, must be ISO 27001 certified, definitely need webhooks. Now, compare solution AVS BVSC. Give me the pros and cons for each and draft a basic migration plan.
Wow. That's not a search query. That's asking for a mini consulting project.
It really is. It's not just finding info. It's conveying deep, nuanced intent and asking for a synthesized, actionable output, often with recommendations built in. It feels much more collaborative.
Totally. It feels like commissioning work. And that sophistication leads right into the second big shift you mentioned, these multi-term journeys. People don't just ask one thing and leave anymore, do they? They ask something, get an answer, then they refine it. Okay, but what about X? Then maybe ask for a comparison. How does that stack up against Y? And then maybe a next step. So what should I do first? And this all happens in one single conversation thread.
And the data shows this clearly. iPullRank's AI search manual, using Profound's monitoring data, found roughly about 50% of ChatGPT sessions are multi-term. And the average is around 5 exchanges per session. That's quite a conversation.
5 exchanges on average. Think about what that replaces. It basically compresses what used to be, opening 10 browser tabs, reading through everything, trying to compare stuff in your head, jumping between sites. Now, all that cognitive effort can happen in one single ongoing thread. That has a huge impact on engagement, and it fuels that expectation. We talked about people want comprehensive answers, solutions, even recommendations, all right there in one place.
And this raises a really important, maybe even critical point about the human side of this. It brings us right to the idea of automation bias. We're seeing a pretty significant and growing tendency for people to, well, over-rely on AI answers. And because they trust it, they invest less mental effort in actually verifying the information themselves.
They just assume it's right.
Increasingly, yes. Studies across human-computer interaction, HCI, and various industry research papers, they consistently confirm this effect. We see it in controlled experiments and in surveys of knowledge workers. Now, look, this reliance can be great when the AI model is right. It's efficient. But it becomes incredibly risky, potentially even dangerous, when the AI gets it wrong. Imagine someone planning a big purchase, maybe a complex software system, and they blindly trust an AI's slightly wrong statement about compatibility. They could end up with something expensive and useless.
Ouch.
Or, maybe more subtly, think about how this bias could let an inaccurate claim about your competitor, cited by an AI, just spread without anyone checking it. It could erode your market share simply because people trusted the AI's flawed summary. It's not just about correcting a mistake, it's fighting against this deep-seated, almost subconscious trust that AI has quickly gained.
That's the real worry, isn't it? That blind trust. If people are less likely to question what the AI says, even small inaccuracies can ripple outwards and cause real problems for users and brands.
Yes, exactly. It raises huge questions about trust, about responsibility, and about the need for what researchers call appropriate reliance. That means being discerning, using judgment, not just blindly accepting everything the AI spits out. And for businesses, this creates a major brand safety challenge, because if misinformation about your brand gets out there and spreads via AI, that automation bias means people are less likely to question it, which just amplifies the potential harm. So these shifts, fewer clicks, multi-turn conversations, automation bias, they all have massive implications for marketers. Which leads us right into thinking about how the traditional marketing funnel is just getting completely reshaped.
Okay, let's dive into that funnel transformation because the immediate, like the most obvious impact for most websites is just a smaller top of the funnel, right? Fewer organic sessions overall.
Undeniable.
And this isn't just gut feeling, we've got numbers. A refsys analysis reported widely by Search Engine Land, eMarketer, they reckon when AI overviews show up, the click-through rate for that #1 spot drops by about 34.5% for non-branded informational type keywords, 34.5%. That's not a small adjustment.
It's huge. That's a massive hit for what used to be the absolute goal.
Right. And AMSIV, using an even larger panel, they show an average drop closer to 15% across the board, but with even bigger drops for certain layouts or types of searches. So yeah, it's not a tiny dip. It's a fundamental structural change. It demands we completely rethink marketing strategies. I imagine for people just looking at raw traffic volume, this is causing some real heartburn right now.
Oh, absolutely. Initial shock, maybe even panic for some.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where it gets really interesting. There's actually a significant silver lining in this. While the sheer volume of organic traffic might be going down, the quality of the traffic that does still come through, that changes profoundly. Think about it. If the AI is handling all that early stage stuff, giving definitions, creating initial shortlists, doing basic comparisons, answering those very top of funnel general questions, then the people who still decide to click through to your website, they're often much, much deeper in their decision-making process. They're usually past that initial broad research phase.
Yeah.
They're coming to you with clearer intent, often much closer to making a decision or taking a specific action.
So the AI is almost acting like a pre-qualification filter.
In a way, yes. It's like the world's most efficient pre-qualifier. Instead of your site getting hit tons of casual browsers just kicking tires, you're now more likely to see visitors who've already been educated by the AI, had their basic questions answered, and now they're looking for specifics or validation or maybe a deeper dive into what makes you unique. They've probably already had a few turns in that AI conversation and are now deliberately seeking out more detailed info.
Okay, so quality over quantity, fewer clicks, but maybe much better clicks. That actually sounds potentially good for conversion rates down the line. But is there a risk? Are we maybe becoming invisible to that initial broader audience if we only focus on the deep funnel folks?
That's a fair question, and it's exactly why measurement strategies have to adapt so dramatically. Just looking at raw organic sessions, that old KPI everyone lived and died by, it's just not the whole story anymore. It might even be the main story. The logical response to this zero-click web reality is to fundamentally change your KPIs. Marketers are increasingly measuring things like lift in branded search. Are more people searching specifically for your brand name after seeing an AI summary?
Okay, that makes sense.
Are they coming directly to your site just typing in your URL? That signals strong intent. Are we seeing more assisted conversions, where maybe the AI played a part early on, even if the final click wasn't from search? And critically, tracking what we're calling post-view actions, something that happened after someone saw an AI summary mentioning you, even if they didn't click right then. Maybe they called you later or filled out a form after visiting directly the next day.
Right, connecting the dots even without a direct click trail.
Exactly. It represents a really important, maybe overdue shift towards measuring real business impact, actual revenue, not just chasing traffic volume. It's about optimizing for users who are ready to convert. And understanding that whole often messy, non-linear path they took to get there. It's just a more mature, business-focused way to look at digital success.
That's a really critical point, a shift to business impact. So if user behavior is changing like this, clicks are down, but intent is up. What does our content need to look like now? How do we actually build content that gets cited by AI?
This brings us right back to that idea of prompt fluency from the user side.
Yeah.
And the demands it places on how we structure our content. Those short keyword strings, they're giving way to those detailed, complex briefs we talked about. This means your content needs meticulous structure, not just for humans, but primarily to anticipate and directly fulfill these complex, prompt-driven AI queries. Content that wins now, the stuff that gets cited and trusted by AI, it has some really specific characteristics.
Okay, let's break those down. What are they?
First, it has to be answer first. Lead with a direct answer. No burying the leader. If the question is, what are the main benefits of X, your first sentence needs to be something like, the primary benefits of X are A, B, and C. Straight up.
Get right to the point.
Absolutely. Second, you have to prove it. Immediately after your claim, you need clear, verifiable evidence. Source citations are key, and, crucially, include dates. This builds trust, verifiability for humans and AI alike. So after saying benefits are A, B, C, you'd add, according to a 2024 study by source name, X resulted in specific data point. Show your work.
Okay, answer first, then prove it. What else?
Third, offer a next step. Your content should give clear guidance. If you're trying to achieve X, consider doing Y. Or, for users with Z needs, see our advanced configuration guide. This anticipates that multi-turn journey, guiding the user logically forward. Fourth, the content needs to be modular. Easily digestible, easily quotable pieces. LLMs need to be able to lift the right paragraph or section without messing up the logic or losing crucial context. Think building blocks, like Legos. Each piece works on its own but fits with others.
Right, so the AI can grab just what it needs cleanly.
Precisely. And finally, fifth, it needs to be mapped to user journey stages. You need to anticipate the kinds of questions people ask at each point, from initial problem scoping through evaluation and comparison, all the way to validating a choice and planning implementation. This isn't just about writing well anymore. It's really about engineering your content for machine readability and, ultimately, for reliable AI citation. It's a totally different way to think about content strategy.
That is a fantastic framework. Answer first, prove it, next step, modular, map to the journey. And building on that, especially the multi-turn queries and the compressed journey, when someone can ask 5 follow-up questions right there in the AI chat, that whole decision process just shrinks dramatically, which must really impact the types of content formats that work best now, right? People need structured answers fast for those follow-ups.
Absolutely. This new reality heavily favors content formats that offer very clear, direct decision paths. We're talking about things like comprehensive side-by-side comparisons, product A versus product B laid out clearly, detailed feature and compliance matrices. Does it have this? Yes, no. Is it certified for that? Yes, no. Step-by-step implementation checklists, transparent economics or ROI calculation tables. These formats are almost purpose-built for those evaluative, multi-turn queries where users are weighing options, checking feasibility, planning next steps.
Like a feature matrix that just clearly says, does product X have feature Y? Yes, no, and here's the link to the proof. That sounds perfect for an AI summary.
Exactly, that's gold. Conversely, content that really hurts itself now. Well, it's pages that bury the answer deep inside long, rambling text. Makes the AI work too hard. Or maybe even worse, content that splits critical details across multiple different URLs. Features on one page, pricing on another, security on a third.
Yeah, forcing the AI and the user to piece it all together.
Right. It breaks the flow of that multi-turn compressed funnel. Look, the next question a user will ask is often pretty predictable if you really understand their journey. So content strategy needs to evolve. We need to move away from thinking just in terms of isolated keyword clusters and start designing conversation clusters, actively anticipating the user's path through a topic and having modular answers ready for each likely turn in that conversation.
Conversation clusters, I like that. Thinking about the whole flow. Now, you brought up automation bias earlier and how risky it can be. How does that tie into brand safety here?
It's absolutely critical for brand safety. Think about the danger zone. What if an AI model hallucinates your pricing, gets it completely wrong, or misstates the terms of your warranty, or maybe subtly conflates your product with a competitor's because the data it trained on was messy or outdated? The problem is, the correction, if you even notice it needs correcting, rarely travels as fast or as far as the initial mistake.
And people are inclined to believe the AI.
Exactly. Experimental work, industry surveys, they consistently show that higher user confidence in AI answers correlates with reduced critical scrutiny. People are less likely to double-check if the AI sounds confident. So if the AI gets your facts wrong, that error is more likely to stick because of automation bias. The goal isn't to reject AI or blindly trust it, it's that appropriate reliance we talked about. And the absolute best defense against these damaging misstatements is having a meticulously maintained, machine-readable source of truth. Something the AI models can accurately cite, reference, and importantly, trust as definitive. This isn't just, a blog or a knowledge base anymore. It becomes the official public canon for your brand, your verifiable truth.
The public canon. Wow.
And this shifts the focus beyond just creating content to actively managing and governing it. Accuracy stops being just good practice or an editorial concern. It becomes a fundamental, non-negotiable brand defense mechanism, especially when users are biased towards believing the machine, even when it's wrong.
That's a really powerful way to frame it, brand defense. Okay, so given all these huge shifts, user behavior, content needs, search structure, brand risk, what are the concrete actions? What should marketers be doing right now to adapt? Where do you even start?
It really has to start with a fundamental mindset shift.
Yeah.
You absolutely must treat visibility now as a two-sided market. You're optimizing for people, yes, but equally you're optimizing for machines, for AI understanding, processing, and citation. It's not just about human eyeballs and clicks anymore. It's a dual mandate for everything you produce.
Okay, a two-sided market, people and machines. I like that. So what's the first practical step? What's the foundation?
The absolute first foundational step is to build canonical source of truth hubs. These are the definitive single places for all the critical, non-negotiable information about your brand, products, services. We're talking core data, pricing models, detailed specs, integration partners, security certifications, compliance statements, support policies, all of it. This needs to be the one unambiguous version of the truth for all these key points. And a really critical detail, you must timestamp any changes you make to these pages.
Why the timestamp?
It provides essential version control. AI models might scrape or index this info at different times. A timestamp ensures they know when that information was accurate and helps avoid using outdated facts. It's about building a verifiable fortress of facts.
Got it. Fortress of facts.
Yeah.
And then the content itself, as we discussed, needs that specific engineering for citation.
Absolutely. You have to really drill down on that content structure. Lead with the answer, immediately show your work. Pair every claim directly with robust evidence. Cite your sources clearly. Include dates for timeliness. You want to make your content undeniably factual, transparent, and incredibly easy for an AI to parse, understand, and then verify with high confidence. Your content needs to basically scream, I am the authority, and here's exactly why.
And making it easy for the AI to parse. That's where the technical side comes in, right?
Yeah.
Structured data.
Yes, exactly. Leveraging structured data is no longer optional. It's crucial for the technical execution of machine readability. You need to mark up everything important using structured data, usually JSON LD is preferred. Think of it like adding invisible machine-readable labels to your information. So the AI doesn't have to guess, is this a price? Is this an event date? Is this the company name? You're explicitly telling it. Use common schema types: organization, product, FAQ, how-to, article, review, event, breadcrumb, whatever's relevant. But, and this is vital, you must validate your markup carefully. Use tools like Google's Rich Results Test or schema.org's validator. Incorrect or invalid structured data, it's basically useless. Might as well not be there.
Okay, so get the structured data right. And then you mentioned something even bigger sounding, re-architecting around entities and knowledge graphs. That sounds like a major project.
It is the next level up in structural optimization, yeah. It's moving beyond thinking about individual pages to seeing your site as a connected web of knowledge. The idea is to organize your content around core entities. Your brand itself is an entity, each product is an entity, key people or entities, specific use cases can be entities. Then the real power comes from logically interlinking these entities within your content. So AI models can clearly grasp the relationships. For instance, your product page entity links to its features entity, which links to a specific compliance standard entity it meets. And even better, connect your internal entities to authoritative third-party nodes.
Like what?
Think recognized standards, bodies like ISO or NIST, major industry marketplaces where your product is sold, documentation from your key technology partners. Linking out to these external authorities builds tremendous trust and provides richer context for the AI. It validates your claims using external respected sources. This creates this deeply interconnected knowledge network that really mirrors how AI models actually process and understand complex information.
Right, making it easier for the AI to see the whole picture and trust it, which also loops back to publishing that decision-enabling content, supporting that compressed funnel.
Exactly. You need to be proactively publishing structured comparisons, product X versus product Y. Clear decision trees. If you need A, choose this. If you need B, choose that. That if this, then that type guidance. For example, if your team size is under 50 and you prioritize ease of use, product A is likely best. If you're an enterprise needing deep customization and regulatory compliance, consider product B. These formats directly address those multi-turn evaluative queries where people are looking for help making a specific choice or planning an action. They cut right to the chase.
Okay, so build the source of truth, structure it for AI, publish decision content. But just building it isn't enough, is it? You have to know if it's working.
Absolutely not enough. Active monitoring of the AI surfaces themselves is non-negotiable now. You need visibility beyond your own website analytics. You need to monitor your brand's presence on Google's AI units, yes, but also critically on platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and others as they emerge. And you're not just tracking old-school rankings. You need to track your answer presence. Are you even showing up in the AI summaries for relevant queries? And even more importantly, your citation share. Are you being explicitly named as the source when the AI provides information related to your domain? When you spot misstatements, inaccuracies, or just gaps where you should be cited, you need a process to immediately trigger content updates to your source of truth, your canon. It has to be an active, ongoing defense and optimization loop.
An active defense loop, that makes sense. Which means the whole way you measure success, your KPI dashboard, it has to completely change too. The old metrics just don't capture this new reality.
They really don't. You absolutely have to add new KPIs to your core dashboard. That lift in branded search we talked about, direct traffic volume, assisted conversions, and those crucial post-answer actions that capture impact beyond the click. It really means aligning your analytics to modern user behavior and being able to clearly demonstrate ROI, even if, paradoxically, your traditional organic session numbers might be going down. It's all about proving real business value and impact in this increasingly AI-mediated customer journey.
Okay, these are definitely significant changes. It feels like a lot to take on, maybe a bit overwhelming if you're trying to figure out where to start. So how could this look in practice? Is there a way to approach this systematically? What kind of operational strategy could bring all these different pieces together effectively?
You're right, it is complex, and trying to do it piecemeal is tough. It really does require a dedicated operational strategy. This is where you start thinking about a comprehensive platform or maybe a structured internal workflow that's specifically designed to operationalize both answer engine optimization, AEO, and generative engine optimization, GEO. Think of it like building a system with several interconnected pillars all working together. The source material mentioned aiCMO as an example of this kind of thinking, focusing on operational pillars.
Okay, operational pillars, what would those look like?
Well, the first pillar would be answer-first content at scale. This isn't just writing one-off pages. It's about having a system, a process for converting all your existing assets, product docs, internal briefs, customer stories, sales materials into these citation-ready formats. Articles, FAQs, comparisons, how-tos. The key is ensuring every piece of content that goes out the door is structured, answer first, includes sources and dates, and crucially has that clean JSON LD markup so AI can lift the information accurately without ambiguity. It's about industrializing content production for AI.
Industrializing it for AI, making sure everything is built right from the start. What's the next pillar?
Next up would be an entity and knowledge graph builder. This means systematically mapping out your core entities, brand, products, people, use cases, into a coherent, machine-readable graph structure. But critically, it also involves actively connecting this internal graph to those authoritative third-party nodes we discussed, standards, bodies, marketplaces, partner docs. This external validation is huge for improving AI understanding and building that all-important trust in your information on these AI surfaces. It's about building that interconnected web of verifiable facts deliberately.
Right, building the connections for credibility. And since users are using complex prompts, you need a system for that too.
Exactly. Pillar 3 is prompt architecture. Your buyers aren't just typing keywords. They're briefing the AI with complex prompts for different stages of their journey. So you need to develop and maintain a library of these stage-specific prompts, prompts for diagnosing a problem, comparing solutions, validating a choice, planning, implementation. And then ensure your content have those modular quotable blocks specifically designed to directly answer the intent behind each type of prompt. This streamlines content creation for prompt-driven queries.
Got it. Designing content specifically for the prompts and monitoring is key, as we said.
Yeah, absolutely. Pillar 4, AI surface monitoring. This needs to be more sophisticated than just rank tracking. You need dashboards that actively track where your brand is appearing and, crucially, being cited across all the major AI units, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Google AI. This means quantifying metrics like answer presence, are you even in the summary, and citation capture, are you named as the source. And this system needs to flag misstatements or gaps immediately, triggering rapid updates to your source of truth. Speed matters here.
Right, catching errors fast. Which links directly to the safety aspect, dealing with that automation bias risk.
Precisely. Pillar 5 is safety and bias guardrails. This is about putting rigorous processes in place. Think claim evidence workflows for content creation, detailed update logs for every change made to your source of truth. This systematically reduces the risk of misquotes or AI hallucinations about your brand. Remember, when automation bias means users trust wrong information, you lose. The cost of error is much higher now. So maintaining that public canon, keeping it current, accurate, machine legible, and undeniably verifiable is paramount. It's ongoing governance.
Governance, not just creation. And finally, tying it all together with measurement.
Pillar 6, zero-click measurement. This is where you align your analytics stack to modern behavior, tracking that branded search lift, Direct visits, assisted conversions, post-answer actions. This is how you clearly demonstrate the ROI of all this effort, even when old metrics like organic sessions might be declining. It's proving the real business value. So these pillars together illustrate how you can actually execute on all the things we've been discussing. It's an integrated, systematic approach.
That's a really helpful way to visualize it, breaking it down into operational pillars. Okay, so for listeners feeling ready to dive in, this isn't just abstract theory. We've actually got a practical, phased approach outlined like a 90-day game plan to help you start operationalizing this. It makes it feel more doable, right?
Exactly. Let's break it down. The first phase, let's say days 130. Focus on audit and foundations. In this first month, the goal is to run a really thorough answer presence audit. Look at your top 50, maybe 100 key buyer questions. Check how they're being answered across the main AI systems, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Google AI overviews. Your absolute top priority here is closing the most dangerous gaps first. Where can AI getting it wrong really hurt you?
Like pricing.
Exactly. Pricing, security protocols, compliance details, core product specs, SLAs. Get those right immediately. At the same time, start adding the essential structured data schema, organization, product, article, FAQ, how-to your most important, highest performing pages. Get that foundational layer in place.
Okay, month one, audit, fix critical gaps, add basic schema. Then what?
Days 3160. Ship decision content. In the second month, you start proactively publishing. Put out a focused batch of those answer-first pages we talked about, and remember, tune them to real user prompts, not just old-school keywords. Really focus on those formats that help people make decisions. Comparison matrices, evaluation checklists, implementation guides, ROI tables, content that supports the compressed funnel. And during this time, actively start building out your entity graph. Identify your key entities and start connecting them internally and linking out to those external authorities to build trust.
Right, start building the content and the connections, and the final month?
Days 6190. Optimize an instrument. This is about setting up your ongoing rhythm. You need to be continuously tracking your answer presence and your citation share across all those AI surfaces. Use the monitoring tools. Where you find your content is missing, or worse, your brand is being misquoted or misrepresented, you immediately fix the canon. Update your source of truth content fast. As you learn from this monitoring, start adding those stage-specific prompts to your content backlog. Ensure future content is designed for multi-turn conversations from the get-go. And crucially, in this phase, make the shift in your reporting. Fully embrace that modern KPI mix branded lift, direct traffic, assisted conversions, post-answer actions reflecting intent and business impact, not just volume.
Okay, that 90-day plan provides a really concrete, actionable roadmap. It shows that, yeah, the shift is big, it's complex, but you can tackle it systematically. You can build for this future step by step.
Absolutely. So just to kind of wrap up our deep dive today, the core message is this. Search has unequivocally become a conversation. And the winner in this new game, it's not just the page that ranks highest anymore. It's the brand that gets named, cited, and ultimately trusted within the AI-generated answer itself. Clicks, as we've seen, are definitely getting scarcer. But the intent behind the clicks that remain, it's much richer, much deeper. But, and this is the flip side, brand trust is also more fragile. It's highly susceptible to that automation bias. So the operational response for your business has to be crystal clear. Be unambiguously correct in your information. Be aggressively structured in your content so machines can read it reliably. And be consistently monitored across all these AI surfaces.
Unambiguously correct, aggressively structured, consistently monitored. I like that. And maybe to leave you, our listener, with one final thought to chew on. Consider this. We're moving towards a world where AI agents don't just find information for users, they increasingly act on behalf of users. They proactively orchestrate actions, they make recommendations, they might even execute purchases. So the real question isn't just, will AI cite my content anymore? That's becoming table stakes. The deeper, much more profound question is, will AI choose my brand when it's making a recommendation or taking an action for its user?
Yeah.
Think about how being that definitive, trusted source of truth suddenly transforms. It stops being just a content strategy and becomes a fundamental business imperative, a core competitive advantage.
Yeah, it's no longer just about getting found on the list. It's about being the preferred, trusted entity that the AI assistant actually recommends and acts upon. It's about being the first choice for the AI itself.
Exactly. So we really encourage you to take a hard look at your own current strategies. Are you still mostly optimizing for that old 10 blue links world? Or are you actively, deliberately building your source of truth now? Are you preparing diligently for this new conversational, citation-driven search landscape? Because the future of digital visibility, it's already here, and it is definitely conversational. We'll be back soon with more insights as we continue Season 2 of The Deep Dive.